Hello and welcome back to my humble show. I just have a bit of news which I think you should know, so here it is, and here I go. The deep state Democrats finally managed to snatch the car keys away from the cold corpse hands of sleepy Joe Biden, only to turn them over to the teenager in the back seat, cackling Kamala Harris. Now, because of this last-second switch-up, or shall I say switcheroo, Donald Trump has decided to call for a change of venues before he'll step onto the stage of the next debate and participate. Some might say that he's afraid of being embarrassed by Harris. But what say you? Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to disagree with me. My apologies if I sound a bit hoarse. I'll try my best to keep this show short. This is a pod, not a podcast. It's not meant to last too long, but in the meantime, like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Don't forget to turn on those bell notifications. I have some content, some commentary to share with you. So I'm going to get started right away, starting with this post from Truth Social by Donald Trump as of the 21st. He said, "My debate with crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, was slated to be broadcast on fake news ABC, the home of George Slopadopoulos, or as I would call him, George Snuffleupagus, which is slightly less original, sometime in September. Now that Joe has not surprisingly quit the race or been forced out of the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose, aka Kamala Harris, should be held on Fox News rather than on the very biased ABC News. Thank you, signed DJT. I must point out that Fox News is also very, very biased. As am I, but at least I can admit it. Yeah, trying my best to be objective here. Doing my best, and you can do the rest. But on to the next post. A clip of Kamala Harris from a few days later, yesterday to be exact, Thursday to be exact. Here it is. And here she goes. In light of the fact that there is now a debate over a debate which hasn't yet begun.
About the debate, and I'll tell you, I'm ready to debate Donald Trump. I have agreed to the previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go.
Will you do it on Fox News?
Comment on the protest yesterday.
Well, we hope that there is at least one debate, maybe two debates. We would be very happy to participate.
Yeah, of course you would be happy to participate, not just because you are very biased, but because of the ratings. Yeah, to be exact, the ratings, and also the publicity. Quite a bit of publicity surrounding the previous debate, the first debate. Bad publicity for Joe Biden, good publicity for Donald Trump. There is, however, a new contestant, a new opponent in the arena now, in the ring, and therefore Donald Trump may not even enter that ring. He may be afraid of the sting. Only time will tell who will prevail, but I'm just saying, whoever is saying, I'm ready, currently, is the one who is currently in charge of the narrative, in control of the narrative, I should say. Yeah, and that's just my perspective. Share perspectives, not opinions. There's a difference. Nick Sorter shared that clip. He reposted that clip saying, just in, Kamala Harris says she's ready to debate President Trump, but refuses to commit to the Fox debate, which was never scheduled in the first place. She's only agreeing to the ABC debate, so that Clinton operative George Stephanopoulos, there's the correct pronunciation, can run cover for her. Well, to be fair, George Stephanopoulos asked Joe Biden some tough questions in their recent interview shortly before Biden was forced out of the race. But anyways, Nick Sorter adds here at the bottom, go figure, she's pathetic. So he is saying that Kamala Harris is pathetic if she refuses to debate on Fox News, which no one should have expected in the first place. I certainly didn't. He's not saying that Donald Trump is pathetic if he refuses to debate on, say, ABC News, which he had already agreed to do. And that's another reason why Donald Trump isn't exactly in charge of the narrative here. Not exactly in control of the narrative here. He's trying to get control of it. But let's see if it's working. Continuing on through this timeline I have laid out for myself to keep myself on track before I lose my train of thought. Here's another clip. Posted by Aaron Rupar. He said, a Trump campaign spokesperson says on Newsmax that Trump is committed to debating Kamala Harris. It will happen. And before I play it, let me just add that Midas Touch reposted Aaron Rupar's post saying, update. Minutes later, Donald Trump's handlers announced he is backing out of the debate, which is where we currently stand, or currently sit. I'm sitting. Speaking for myself here, I'm sitting.
So she tweeted out moments ago that Donald Trump agreed to a September 10th debate, mind you, with Joe Biden. It now appears he's backpedaling. Voters deserve to see the split screen that exists on a debate stage. I'm ready, so let's go. Kamala wants this debate. She said she wants more than one. Donald Trump agreed to more than one. When does this happen, and on what network?
Well, I am not surprised to hear more lies from Kamala Harris. In fact, I just spoke to President Trump about this very topic today. He is committed to debating Kamala Harris. It will happen. The terms, which network, what date, those are still up for negotiation. People will hear that directly from President Trump as soon as those decisions are made. But absolutely, there will be debates between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And let's not...
So she says that there will definitely be debates somewhere, somehow. But it would be no surprise if Donald Trump's spokespeople are not exactly on the same page. For starters, he posts his own posts, so it's kind of hard to keep up with. He might be on the toilet at 12 o'clock midnight, just, typing, posting, and then they have to catch up later, right? Curveball after curveball. Unlike in Joe Biden's case, who is likely mostly incapable of keeping up with his own thoughts and therefore incapable of posting most of what is posted on his account, which will be less and less as time goes by. Yeah, just saying. But yes. Moving on here, you saw in the video the post by Kamala Harris who said Trump agreed on a September 10th debate. It now appears he's backpedaling. Voters deserve to see the split screen that exists on a debate stage. I'm ready, so let's go. Once again, she said that she's ready. Now, he could prove her wrong. That's what he should do, especially if he's the tough, talented debater that he has labeled himself as. And I'm not necessarily saying that's false. It's just that the last guy he debated was a cold corpse. Yeah. Here's this statement from the Trump campaign. It's on DonaldTrump.com, and my face might be covering up part of the text, so I'll jump over to this tab. Slightly different format, but it's pulled up here. Same statement. Let me just read this caption by the person who posted this. Mueller, she wrote, that's the name of the account, said, breaking, Trump is backing out of the debates. He is running scared. But what say you? Hold on a second. What say you? Well, Trump campaign said, given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. There is a strong sense by many in the Democrat Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, that Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump. And they are still holding out for someone better. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. A few thoughts. That sounds a little bit excusatory, especially if you're the tough, talented debater who is willing to debate anytime, any place, as you previously stated. Yeah, there's the emphasis on Kamala Harris being a Marxist fraud. I think that's unnecessary rhetoric, to be honest. I know that Trump has said, despite getting shot in the head, or at least in the ear, he's not going to be nice like people are telling him to be. He's just not going to be. He's not playing Mr. Nice Guy. I kind of wish he would. The repetitious use of Barack Obama's middle name there, that's also unnecessary, but this is how Trump rolls. Like a roll of dirty toilet paper, taken from his own toilet where he sits, currently posting on Truth Social. What else? Yes, he says the debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. Yet I have a point to make about that, but someone else is going to make it for me if I just keep skipping through and flipping through the tabs here, so I'm going to do that. Already a dozen minutes into this show. I believe you already seen this. Yes, you have. This was in that previous video. Kamala Harris saying what she said. There it is. You see it on the screen. Read it and weep. Or read it and leap to conclusions. There you go. For your viewing pleasure or pain. Moving on once again. Another post by Kamala Harris. She said, what happened to any time, any place? There she was reposting a post by Sam Stein. I feel weird saying post rather than tweet, but that's what I'm going with. Sam Stein said, Trump camp says he's backing out of the debates. That's a little bit of a spun narrative since he didn't say permanently, he just said temporarily. Supposedly. But fair enough comeback by Sam Stein and Kamala Harris, who said, what happened to any time, any place? So, some people will take her side, some people won't. In regards to her side, there are knuckleheads like Harry Sisson, who has been kissing up to the Biden administration all along, to the point of assuring everyone that that Joe Biden was not going to be dropping out of the race anytime soon. Maybe not even ever, because he's practically immortal. Oh, how things have changed because of all the change-ups, switch-ups, switcheroos. So yes, he said, Kamala Harris just destroyed Donald Trump with one sentence. He is absolutely terrified of debating her. Woo! Yeah, okay. I do think it's a little bit ironic that so many Democrats, people on the left, are talking about how terrified Donald Trump and Republicans are immediately after swapping out their own courageous candidate. Because of their own sense of terror. Yeah. They were terrified that they were going to lose, so they threw him under the bus. They kicked him to the curb. Joe Biden, that is. Biden bit the dust. And Biden they no longer trust. And they're right back to making definitive statements. I try not to do that any more than I have to. That's precisely why. Because in a game of curveballs, you never know when you might swing and miss. Okay, and as for the other side of the spectrum, the political spectrum, political aisle, Ryan Fournier responded to Kamala Harris saying, "You're not the official nominee yet. And when or if that comes to be, there will be debates. This isn't hard. For you, I guess it is." No, it's not. It's not hard. Okay. She's just being strategic, just as Donald Trump is. And I would suggest that her strategy may very well have the upper hand right now. Might be a little bit stronger right now. Just because Donald Trump had already agreed to the debates. Now the most he can say is, well, they swapped out the candidates. They swapped out the candidate for a different one. So the rules have now changed. It's no longer anytime, any place mentality. The problem with that is that Biden was swapped out for Harris. So if that's who you're going to back down from, if that's who you're going to change the rules for, it does suggest that you are a little bit fearful. With reason, because, hey, she's the fresh face. She's the worst kept secret. Okay, moving on. I'll be wrapping this up soon. I hope. Caitlin Collins said, "The Trump campaign is now saying debates can't be scheduled until Democratic nominee is official. Even though Biden was not officially the Dem nominee at the last debate." That is one of the most relevant points, which scores against Trump. Yeah, so he debated Biden, even though Biden was not officially the Dem nominee. And actually, I heard Trump say in an interview that he suspected, because of Biden's condition, that Biden wouldn't actually be the nominee in the end. So when he complains about how Harris isn't officially the nominee yet, well, he debated Biden despite, according to himself, assuming Biden wouldn't even be the nominee either. Hopefully I worded all of that right. I'm running low on brain power. Moving on. Back to the other side of things. Joey Manorino said, "If Kamala won't accept the Fox debate, Trump shouldn't accept the ABC debate. This is simple stuff. One on her turf and one on his turf seems fair to me." Well, life isn't fair, especially when you're not the most recent incumbent. That's just not how this works. And especially not after you've already agreed to do multiple debates on unfriendly networks and touted your success after the first one up until the point of, well, ending the political career, essentially, of your opponent, your former opponent, Joe Biden. Yeah, so I don't think this plays. I don't think you get to say one for me and one for you. I don't think that really works. It may for you, it may for Trump supporters, and I get it, I do. He has to play the cards he's dealt, but it's just not felt. Not by mainstream media, not by the deep state. A response from Molly Hemingway. This is also coming from the right wing. "You absolute clowns. Trump agreed to debates with Biden. Are you claiming that Trump backed out of the second debate with Biden? Can you not read the easy-to-read note there about waiting to schedule until someone is nominated, which once again he didn't do in the first place? Why must you always push DNC talking points, she asks. I mean, you're pushing talking points too. I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris at all. I cannot stand her, but I'm going to call it like I see it. And if it sounds like you're making excuses and you're a Republican, well, because I am more in line with you, I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. I do. I hold my own team, if I have one, to higher standards than I hold the other team to, right? Because if you can't get your own house in order, how can you get any house in order? How? It's not possible. Much less probable. All right, so yeah. People are going to spin it in however way they see fit. That's just how this works. But that's not how this works at the same time. As I've already said, Patrick Bet David left us this long list of unsolicited advice for President Trump. I don't know if I'll read all of it, but he said, 1. Kamala is formidable, but she's not in your league. Suggesting that Trump should just debate her anytime, any place. Her biggest strength is the entire establishment behind her. True. But that alone can't beat you, however. Agitation is their strategy. They hated how calm and cool you were with your speech at the RNC. It was emotional. You captivated not just United States, but the world. They don't know how to beat that Trump. They know how to beat the agitated Trump. Stay focused on policies. I agree with all of this so far. I haven't read it yet, but I agree with all of it so far. Stay focused on policies, says PBD. 2016 campaign was about being the underdog. You know how to win as the underdog. Some may even say it's impossible to beat you as an underdog mentality. The favorite mentality sometimes paints you as a bully. Bully. My first speako of the show, if I'm not mistaken. Bullying can work when going against a bully, Biden. But Harris is like a featherweight fighting a heavyweight, you. Fighting too aggressive can come across as a bully. You're above that. Is he really? He's not really above that. He has the potential to put on that particular show, and I hope he does. Do I have much hope of that happening? Not really. Lead with your track record. What you did with your one term was historic. Great policies that energized the nation and scared the heck out of our enemies. Great policies that helped everyone, blacks, whites, Hispanics, married or single, young or old. Stay focused on driving your policies and initiatives. He definitely shouldn't give people a reason to call him a sexist or a racist. That's what they're going to be looking for, considering he is running against someone who checks each and every one of those boxes, and then some. You're one of one. This continues. There's never been one like you as a president who's won in 3 different very competitive climates. You're what I call a trifecta. You won in real estate, you won in entertainment, you won in politics. Americans know that, both your voters and even more your enemies. Your enemies secretly envy you for being a trifecta. Let your base and voters point this out while you focus on unifying. You don't need to fight all the fights. 95% of the fights can be won by your generals and representatives. You have formidable generals who are strong. Let them do the day-to-day fight. You focus on the bigger picture. I have a cat hissing at another cat behind me. I'm getting a little distracted. So sorry. Choose your enemies wisely. Small thinking. Those who apologize for America's greatness. Outside countries who are trying to divide. Sell the American dream. I'm not reading off all the numbers here, but going in order. And let me make sure this doesn't go on too long. It really doesn't. So I'll jump back up here and finish this off. Sell the American dream. How to do that? Financial freedom, retiring with dignity, building great memories with kids, grandkids, and family, leaving a legacy behind, building a small business as big as or as small as you want, regardless of skin color, faith, or background. Why America leads in immigration. Billions of people around the world dream about having a social security number in the United States. Sell that. You are an inch away from meeting your creator. He's truly given you another chance. I don't think it's because he wants you to make another billion, or another hit TV show, or another hole-in-one. But maybe because he wants you to use all of that, he wants to use you as a way to show it that anyone can change. Wow, powerful. You could be a leader to challenge and unify the reasonable Americans. Not all, that's not possible. But the majority of people are reasonable and willing to support you. Trust in God. Sometimes we choose to change intentionally, and most of the times we change due to life-changing events. If we consider the life-changing event a possible method of how God communicates with us to change, then it's on us to trust Him. In closing, nothing can be more annoying than unsolicited advice. Either way, future looks bright. And I might add that I hope, for better or worse, Donald Trump saw that and read it and took it to heart. Because although it's not perfect, it's not necessarily life-changing advice for someone who gets a lot of bad advice from a lot of people who give bad advice. Well, Donald Trump could use some good advice. Some goodish advice. And that is goodish. That is good. That is great advice. So, props to PBD. That's all I have to say. And this is all you have to see of me for now. Yeah, wrapping up this show, which has in fact turned into a podcast rather than a pod, nearly 30 minutes into it. But hey, it has been a minute, but I'm back up in it. I'm in it to win it. Yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Gotta go. Peace. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.